All right, guys, two in one day. Would you imagine that? I've got my buddy Professor Meat with me today. We're going to talk about meat theory. He's a very interesting guy. I've known him for a little while, and like I say, I'm not 100% sure what exactly we're talking about today, but I hope you guys will join me. I hope that you guys enjoy the conversation, and we'll just kind of dive into this. I want to remind you all, I'm Some Dummy Online. I do various interviews online. I want to talk to you specifically. If you guys want to come on, you want to tell me about yourselves, you want to tell me about what you do for a living, you want to tell me about your Twitch channel, you want to tell me about your artwork, I want to hear about it. If you guys want to give advice to someone or you want to ask for advice, I want to give it to you. I want to give you a place to share your advice with people. So by all means, come and join my Discord if you want to be a part of the show. Come on out here and share with me a little bit about yourselves. Thank you guys so much. Again, here is my friend, Professor Meat. Let me see if he's ready for us. Hi, I'm back, Meat. How we doing? Not a lot. How are you today? That's a fantabulous answer. I like that. I like that. So tell me a bit about yourself, Professor Meat. I know that you stream on Twitch. And what kind of things do you do on Twitch? Valid, valid. And your Twitch channel name is Professor Meat? Professor underscore Meat. And are you an actual professor? Are you actually made of meat? Interesting, interesting. So how did you come up with the title Professor Meat? Where'd you get this name? So when you say meat, we're not talking about like a gathering of people. We're talking about the flesh of an animal. I understand. Delicious. It's a good hobby. I had asked you meat as in like flesh, correct? I like that. How long ago was this that you were christened Professor Meat? Oh, really? And you started your Twitch channel immediately at that point, or did you already change your name on Twitch? Very interesting. I identify with this quite a bit. You know that I'm an anthropologist, and I think of myself as a space alien here to try to learn about culture and the way that people do things here on Earth. So I feel like we might have come from the same dimension. This is interesting. So these meatheads, these are people that are like you that also analyze the world in the way that you do? Interesting. And how does someone obtain this classification of being a meathead? Is it anybody that watches you, or do they have to follow or subscribe or something to get the title? Yeah, I'm getting the impression that everybody is like a level 1 meathead. It's just a question of whether they realize it or not, and by realizing it, you have become one. I Okay, I understand. So explain now level 2, how do we go from, so by level 1 we acknowledge that we are one, we potentially join the Discord. Now you're a level 1, what's a level 2?
Being in the Discord and following, definitely level 2. That's definitely level 2. Level 3, level 3 is bits.
So me,
Spaniard, someone in my chat wants anyone listening to know that it's when I ignore you in chat. That's when you. That's one of the level ups. That's when you know you're a meathead.
someone just clarified to me that I've missed the audio from the entire like first 10 minutes of this so far. Can you
Okay.
recap for us? Who the hell are you? What are you doing
man,
here?
you know
and
what?
what have we said?
I'm so glad you said that because I don't think I did a good enough job. I just want to respond first off to Spaniard in my chat. What's up, Spaniard? I know I haven't been streaming. I'm back out here. Sorry about that. I know I can see there's only 3 of you in here. I got to rebuild my audience already. But okay, who am I? I am the sword and shield of the base and the righteous. All right, motherfuckers. I want to come. I'm here to slay monsters. All right. I'm here to have interesting conversations. I'm here to provide you content. I'm here to meme. I am here to. But most of all, I'm here because I want to normalize meat. Not me. I want to normalize meat, to be clear, meat theory. And secondly, I want to destroy the armies of darkness. The armies of darkness in this case being the hordes of zombies that have bad takes and assert them confidently and don't back down from them.
These are the level 0 meatheads from our
These are
previous-
the I don't know what they are. They're like they're beyond meat. They're anti-meat heads. They're the enemy. You know, they're they're
anti-meat.
vegetarians.
I love it.
Yeah. They're they're the anti-meat for sure. And we must destroy them by converting them into meatheads. Or well, no, yeah, or metaphorically destroy them by annihilating their takes on Twitch. Metaphorically, in a video game.
So again, you are Professor Meat. You stream on Twitch.
Yes, Professor Meat. _ meat.
We seek out the meatheads. We're teaching the qualities of meat theory. We were discussing a little bit about this beforehand and how you came to be the meat and realize the meat. Can you explain the meat again, real quick, just briefly? You're muted as heck.
So the meat. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm talking to my chat. I'm trying not to over talk you too much.
You're great.
So, oh man. So when my chat is trying to distract me. So meat theory. That was your question, right? Basically, what is meat theory? Yeah.
Yeah, just quick recap again.
Yeah. So I don't think I ever gave a very good answer, to be honest. But I'll just say that meat is. I'm normalizing myself. All right. I am meat, and I'm good for you. God damn it. All right.
What are
You guys
gonna
could
do
use a
for
dose.
me?
What I'm going to do for you, I'm going to normalize a world that you could have never imagined. I'm the Cenobite motherfucker from Hellraiser. I'm going to come into your life. It's going to be scary. My hooks are going to slink up along your back flank, and it's going to be sensual and horrifying. And I'm going to drag you in another dimension, and you're going to come out of it on the other side, a Cenobite going, listen, humans, I know it's horrifying, but this is the way. I have seen the light. And it's going to be fucking beautiful.
Someone in my chat is asking if he can corn your beef.
If I can corn your beef. All right, hold on. I got to make sure the metaphor tracks before I answer that. Corned beef. I just got to make sure of this definition. Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. Metaphorically, absolutely can corn your beef.
See that, Joe?
I think it's inevitable.
Corned beef approved.
I think it's inevitable, in fact. I would say.
All beef will become corned.
In my channel, in my community. Moon Man, what's up? Everyone is meat, and before women are meat. Women are meat. All of us are meat. Even some of us who aren't us are meat.
Okay, so we were explaining before going from level 0 non-meat, and we've actually found even less than that. We have the zomboids, the non-meats.
Anti-meat.
The anti-meats.
Anti-meats, yeah.
So these are the ones that spit bad takes, particularly on the internet. Then we have level 0 meatheads that are meatheads that haven't realized it yet, who become level 1 meatheads as soon as they, you said, join the Discord?
As soon as they join the Discord, I would say that's the first step. Or following me on Twitch. In fact, I would even go so far as to say following me on Twitch is like a 1.5. And then like joining me on Discord is like a 0.5. Unless that's the only thing you do, then you're still at a 1. But if you've already followed me, it's just a 0.5 increase. Or no, actually, no, if you've already followed me, it gets you to 2. That's right. Yeah. That's how the math works out.
Okay, so now we've gotten to 2. By doing both things, you need to be in the Discord. We need to also be following on Twitch. And then I'm assuming that a subscription is going to get us up to level 3, if I had to guess.
Absolutely. I would even go so far as to say a subscription. Actually, I think a subscription jumps a few steps, personally. I think that cheer. Hell yeah, we got a follow from someone. I don't know how to fucking yeah, there we go. Moon Man, what's up, bud? I think did I get this guy from your channel? Who is this guy?
Moon
He
Man?
gets
New to me.
yeah. He gets the meat. He's so intuitive with the meat. I don't understand. Did this guy just come from the void with hearing the song of meat? I'm okay. Anyway,
The
yeah,
meat
Moon Man.
space has summoned
Tell us your
him.
tale in the chat. Yeah, seriously. But yeah, so where the fuck even was I? Oh my god, this guy.
So,
Oh, that's right. So
bits?
so meat sub. So bits are probably good. Bits are probably good depending on the level of donation. If it's less than $2, probably that's level 4. Sub. Sub probably just skips. You know, probably the other levels don't exist. It's just level 7. It's just whatever. Was it just level 6 or level 5? Whatever ones are skipped. You just go straight to level 7 with the sub. That's how much we value the community. If you gift a sub, you're automatically level 9. Automatically level 9. Any gifted sub.
And what level are you at now?
I'm a level 10 meathead. I am a level 10 meathead. Yes.
And is it possible? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is where my cult is so special. All right, is that you can become a level 10 meathead. All right, you can't become a level 10 meathead of the central meathead property that is the Discord I own, but I will grant level 10 meathead rights. I will do it. Now I will also take them away sometimes, and we don't have to talk about that. That has never happened, so we have no reason. Theoretically, it doesn't even exist really, so we don't have to think about it. But level 10 meathead is you can ascend to the inner circle of meat. It's just that we have to judge this ourselves as a community, as a figurehead.
So are there other level 10 meatheads out there, or so far are you the first and only?
I'm the you know what? Fuck yeah, there's some other level 10 meatheads out there. All right. First off, the most powerful meathead out there, all right, in my opinion, out of all the level 10 meatheads, not so erudite, my favorite Twitch streamer, big brain extraordinaire, all right. There's if there's any overlap in the community that is currently in my chat versus hers, it's purely coincidence. All right, first off. Second off, her husband, Nick, he doesn't really stream, but, he's a level 10 meathead. I got to give credit to the level 10 meatheads out there because there's so few of them,
These are good people.
Yep. Okay, so third, I've never talked to him, but you know what? His takes are so based that it makes up for his flaws. I got to give a level 10 meathead card to Big Papa Destiny, all right? Big Papa Destiny. And then, I'm not going to name names because I'm in the community, but I'm just going to say, I'm going to say roughly half, maybe a third of Not So Erudite's Discord and my Discord, also, you lovely motherfuckers. I'm going to say, if I'm in that distribution pattern, I would say roughly applies to both of our communities, in my experience, for level 10 meatheads. There's a lot of good level 10 meatheads out there, all right? I may be the best level 10 meathead so far, but they're other than, well, maybe a few outclass me, But all right, I'm one of the best.
Nobody does, Joe. Nobody does.
But definitely, yeah, I'm not the only one.
So,
and that's what it's all about, all right? Because level 10 meatheads, level 9 meatheads, whoever you are out there in your hearts before you've gotten the card carrying certification, we're here for you. We're out there.
So you've lost me a little bit here. Again, the distribution of people that I'm seeing here, there's a whole bunch of these zomboid type people giving these bad takes, tons of people. Then I'm seeing there's a lot of level 0 meatheads that haven't realized it yet. And then there are some level 1s. And then are there a lot of people in the middle? Or it seems like there's a bunch of 10s on one end, and then there's a ridiculously huge amount on the end, and there's not a lot in the middle.
So I think that it is a spectrum. I think that what I've described is not how you become a meathead, really, but how you prove that you're a meathead. In terms of the follows and the join my Discord, that's how we know. That's how you know, all right? It's like getting diagnosed, except in this case, you actually can diagnose yourself as a meathead. Yeah.
So is it
by joining the Discord. Once you join my Discord, you will be able to you'll have that affirmation, objectively speaking, that you are indeed a meathead, and your identity will be verified. Yeah, self-actualization, objectively.
So you described it as a diagnosis at first. Is this like a neuroatypicality, some sort of a mental illness?
Maybe. I'm interested. I don't want to say. I don't want to equate the two, but especially if we're talking about anxiety and depression and stuff like that, it occurs to me. I'm very interested. All right, I'm going to get a little more serious here now about meat theory. But it occurs to me that in a lot of different ways, both related to mental illness but also the type of behaviors that we normalize, that there may be a lot of examples where we are have bad normative standards that might exclude people from the space. And also insofar as the way we represent ourselves on the platform filters down into the broader community of the world and our society. I think that which probably you could debate how much that is, but it seems to me that where there might be a lot of sort of normative standards for how we interact that is harmful to either people's certain mental illnesses or certain neuroatypicalities. And I feel like I do see that reflected in the world as well. And I'm interested in how I kind of subsume that within my meat theory.
Interesting. I have a hard time determining different mental illnesses. I find that people that aren't medical doctors tend to throw around a lot of diagnoses a lot of times. And once people that aren't medical doctors pin a diagnosis onto themselves, they wear it as a badge and be like, look, everybody, this is what's wrong with me. But more and more I'm finding that I can't find any sane people, and there's no such thing as normal. So I'm having a harder time trying to describe people as being neuroatypical or having
Well,
a
that's
problem.
why. So, yeah, and I think that, and I'm not a psychiatrist, but I think that this is a lot of why. I think. So I'm trying to move my chat and stuff. I think that this is a lot of why people have problems with uh the terms neurotypicality, but also like we do have. I feel like part of. So there's two things that you're describing. I feel like one of those things is. I'm just gonna leave it. Fuck it. One of those things is in the sense of mental illness. I feel again, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not an expert, but that you're just sort of describing the way we stigmatize mental illness in a way. You're sort of indirectly referencing it because here's the thing. Yeah, no one's fucking normal. All right, we're all like we're. All right, this is super overly reductive, but like we're all a little mentally ill. Um, uh, uh, like it's just a matter of how much and how much it harms you and whether or not it's a point at which like it becomes a problem and how much of it a problem is and how much you need help for it. Like it's this stuff is all exists on a spectrum, you know. It's not like people forget that people lose track of like what mental health diagnoses even are. It's not putting you into this it's not putting you into this category that like divides you from humanity, and it is putting you. It's like diagnoses and mental health are just groupings of symptoms that we categorize together because it allows us to more accurately like group like treatments with those groupings of symptoms, because we can demonstrate that those groupings when paired together conceptually will allow us to like more effectively lead ourselves to more effective treatments to get better results. And like these and people, this is what like mental health is a lot of the time. And I'm not saying that there's no like basis of never any basis of like neurological diagnoses in these fields, but like when you can successfully conceptualize it this way, you realize that to a certain extent, like any of us could have sort of been mentally ill, and it's not. No one's normal. That's the thing, and that's the problem that people have with atypical is that no one's really normal. Some of us are just more or less normal than others in a sense. But that's part of the problem. I guess is that when we start to think of us as normal versus not normal instead of just more or less normal, I guess, which still you could argue is a form of stigmatization, it just it becomes an issue because mental health, having a mental health issue doesn't make you not normal. In fact, depending on how you define it, it might make you normal. It might actually be. It might. You might be able to argue that it's abnormal and unusual to be someone who would not be benefited from some kind of mental health, like treatment or therapy at the very least, or at the very least it's fucking close. All right.
Yeah, definitely a higher percentage of people in the world probably would benefit from mental health care, and therefore more people in the world are crazy than not crazy. Therefore, crazy people are the normal ones, and the normal ones are the weird ones. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. This guy gets it. You're a meathead already.
Okay, yeah, no, I think that I'm following your logic.
And this is the problem, right? So, yeah, and you could apply this logic to both mental health, but also like neuroatypicality or however you want. It's like if all of us are crazy, sorry for the word I guess, but like if all of us are crazy, why should we how much should we be like stigmatizing and crazy behaviors, right? Maybe we should be normalizing crazy a little bit, goddammit. You know, if we're all so fucking crazy and fucked up, you know, maybe we should normalize that a little bit. Maybe we should normalize yelling on the internet, you know. That's me. This is meat theory. And meat theory can be described in so many ways. Maybe I should be allowed to speak quickly and authoritatively and interrupt at certain times while being able to be concessory at other times. Maybe I should be able to taken at face value. Maybe I shouldn't be held accountable for stuttering so much. Maybe I shouldn't be held accountable for sounding severe, even if I'm willing to admit that I'm not necessarily severe. You know, someone could say that I sound like I'm super pissed at you right now, even if I'm not, right? So what sort of because I'm speaking fast and I'm speaking passionately, right? And maybe that's because of my deep voice, or maybe because of my tone of speech that sort of combines to give that impression. But you could also flip this in other ways for other people, right? Because that's how it describes to me. But you could also say you could flip it, because I've talked about this is an inverse thing, because so for example, sexism on the platform. This is something I've become particularly interested in. The people in my from my community will know what I'm talking about when I say this, but like, I've become particularly interested in the past few days about the idea of like how people discriminate across sexes. I mean, I was interested in it before, but I've had my interest renewed, because in a certain sense, I have felt in the past, like women, for example, can talk and engage on the platform in a degree of like eloquence and severity and fast speech, et cetera, that I am like automatically viewed as like being severe when I act that way, whereas women might not necessarily. But it cuts exactly the same way, because when I start fucking shit talking people on panels and telling them how dumb they are, and being like really aggressive with pointing out the blatant contradictions in their speech, it's like right. But like, if a fucking girl starts doing that, she's viewed as so fucking passive aggressive and condescending, and it's unreal. It's actually bizarre. Like, I've viewed it firsthand, the way that like I've viewed. And people are gonna think I'm being defensive about someone that know what I'm talking about, but it's not even this. It's not even like particular instances recently. It's just renewed my interest in it. I've seen so many times examples where not just women, but more frequently women, I guess would be the problem, where someone is just fucking speaking quickly, or making a fair point, or like just responding to the fucking passive aggressiveness with aggressiveness. And all of a sudden, they're called out for it. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing on this platform? No, go fuck yourselves. What are we doing on this platform? Sorry, I've been talking a long time.
No. So I feel like you started out by saying I should be allowed to X, Y, and Z. Then you described a couple of things, and then we flipped the gender at some point and said, this is a problem that women experience more than yourself? Is that...
No, so there's another side of it. So insofar as I gave an example of how like this applies across the lines of gender too, where there are certain ways that like my behavior will be viewed in a less charitable way, because of maybe I'm a dude, or maybe not even because I'm a dude, but more so because I have a deep voice, or because of my manner of speech, or something like that, or the speed with which I'm speaking, or blah blah blah. But maybe those things are viewed more charitably because I'm a dude. But then the flip side is that, okay, well, even if you are viewed or maybe less favorably in some cases. But the flip side of that is that at the same time, I can somehow get away with like just any form of actual aggression. And somehow, but I'm biased. Maybe my analysis isn't even right along those axes, because I'm biased and I feel like I feel like people think that people sound condescending when I don't think they sound condescending. Like, that happens very frequently on the platform, so maybe my radar's off. But I feel like the flip side across that gender paradigm is that on the other end, you can't be fucking like, you can't confront anyone on their bullshit. If you're a girl, it seems like even women who I fucking can't stand talking to on this platform, that drive me fucking insane when I'm arguing with them. People are really want to hate them. People really want to just hate them for just like disagreeing and having a really dumb take. And in a way that I don't feel like when I get hate, because I get hate. Trust me, I get hate. But when I get hate, it's for a completely different thing. When I get hate, it's for being so wrong. It's just because people think I'm fucking wrong, or they think that I am like being really cocky. Like, I don't really get flack like here's the funny thing. I never get flack for being a bully. Almost ever. I get flack for being a bully at the wrong time. That's all I get flack for. And that's sort of weird, because there are other people on this platform plenty of people who will always get flack for being a bully. And that's weird. Why is that? But that's just the other side of it, right? Because my side of it would be, again, another side of it would be, why the fuck is it that certain people, for whatever reasons, I'm not trying to make it necessarily a gender thing, necessarily. I suspect it might be. But on the flip side of it is that, or another example maybe you could say, is that why the fuck is it that some people on the platform are able to speak very quickly, very eloquently, very assertively, very authoritatively, and it's like viewed positively and responded to well. But then if other people do it, it's responded to negatively. It's very negatively. They're viewed as being condescending or like cocky as opposed to just confident. I don't feel and obviously like I again, not just to loop it back, like obviously things like neurotypicality with like ASD, I feel like those things factor into a lot of this. ADHD I feel like in my experience interacting with people with ADHD sort of obscures a lot of like normative things when interacting with other humans. And I just sort of feel like we look at these things sort of unfairly sometimes when we're sort of judging people's rhetoric and debate. What's up, KF Joe?
So I do want to kind of come back to it, and I really do appreciate you like kind of tying it back in together. You reference a they that is very judgmental to you when you talk in certain patterns, and then the same they treats women differently or strangely, and then the same they again allows certain people to behave in the exact same way that you're describing, and then they view these people favorably. Does that sound correct?
Yeah, it's just like it seems like there's whether it's due to sexism or normative standards across certain societal means or due to racism in some cases, like I guess in a broader sense, it's not necessarily about normalizing meat as it is just I want there to be better normative standards. I just want there to be better normative standards for the way we talk to each other. And I think it's interesting because a lot of people think we should just be nicer to each other. I think we probably should be nicer to each other a lot of the time. But I also think we should be meaner to each other some of the times. I just think our standards are bad. I just think we need to do better.
I don't disagree. Again, so I'm trying to. There's a they that is attacking you and telling you that you're talking too fast and trying to stop you from doing this, and who's criticizing you for talking too loud and for getting too passionate. And these people are also criticizing women, but they're not criticizing certain people.
Not necessarily the same people.
But people in general, yeah. And we're talking about society as a whole.
Bring people with ASD or with ADHD or with certain mental illnesses or whatever it is.
Do you think that you talk too quickly or too passionately or stutter too much? How do you feel about the way that you talk yourself?
That's an interesting question. I feel like I stutter too much in the sense that I would be aided by stuttering less. But overall, I would actually say no to those questions. I don't think I stutter too much. I don't think I do any of those things too much because here's the thing. This is exactly my problem, actually. I'm glad you asked this question. Because anyone out there who would propose to have an answer to that question can go fuck themselves, as far as I'm concerned. Because that's the thing. You can be like, I'd like to be better in this way, or I don't care about this personally, or I'd like to be worse in this way, I guess, if you wanted to for some reason. But as far as all these standards, the whole problem is that you shouldn't have normative standards across these lines. You should be really, really, really fucking loose with your normative standards across these lines, because what the hell does it mean to stutter too much? Now, there's a practical metric to make there, but I don't think I think very few people would say, for example, that I might stutter too much in conversation, that it literally destroys the ability of the conversation to be had, right? So at that degree, I would say, unless you're breaching into that category, like, what does it mean to stutter too much? What does it mean to talk too fast? What does it mean to be too passionate about what you're talking about? How passionate is too passionate? What the fuck are we talking about? Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
So I want to point out to you, I had no idea that you had a stutter up until the moment that you explained this to me today.
Well, I don't know if I have a stutter. I do stutter sometimes.
Excuse me. And that was a really wrong way to say it. I don't know that I have ever noticed you stutter, heard you stutter, or even thought that you ever would or did. And I definitely don't think that you talk too fast or too passionately. I think that you are a very passionate person, and I think that passion comes through in your conversations. I think potentially there are some people that might be able to hear and understand you better if you did make a conscious effort to try to speak slower on occasion. But again, I don't think that you have to or that you do anything poorly, but you could better yourself if you chose to do that in that way. But again, I would not recommend feeling self-conscious about this in any way. And
see, I actually think it's... Or sorry, go ahead.
And to the point that you were making earlier about women, and we need to, as a society, normalize women talking in these ways, I feel like it is normalized. And I feel like the more you and I encourage women to talk like Chad bros, the more normal it will be.
I think women need to be encouraged to talk like Chad Bros, and men need to be encouraged to talk like pussy betas. I think that we just need to be capable
Hey, Spirit Toby,
of
thanks for coming by,
calling
bud.
upon
We're
like
trying
all
to do
parts
a
of
thing.
ourselves that might be necessary. And I don't think that we should be holding each other accountable for like failing to a good scenario is gender roles, right? So like so in the conversations I've had about gender, a good analog is like in the conversations I've had about gender abolitionism. It's like what constitutes healthy gender roles versus unhealthy gender roles is that healthy gender roles are not gender roles that you feel like you have to subscribe to, but also that you don't feel like you can't subscribe to. And if we I feel like there are lots of behaviors like that in the way we interact with each other in Twitch, but also, I mean, especially in real life, that we could all fucking benefit from. I want to explore that. I want to figure out ways to show that to people, because I think we could all fucking benefit from it. I think that literally every person that suffers from it directly would benefit from it, but also the rest of humanity would benefit from it, because god damn it, we're good for you. You're good for yourself, humanity, all right? I believe in you.
Interesting. So I do want to push back on this thing. You said, well, and really I said it first, we need to encourage women to talk more like Chad Bros. We need to encourage men to talk more like beta cucks. I don't necessarily feel like it's a bad thing that women may want to talk like trad women and men may want to chat like dude bros or whatever. I think that people can choose to interact and to communicate in any way that they choose to, and I think that we should probably try to just empower people to make whatever choice that they want to make. And I don't think that we should discourage men from being Chad Bros. We should discourage women
Exactly.
from wanting to be trad wives, but we also should encourage them to do the opposite if they choose to.
You know what? You're right. I need to let me re-clarify my position. I'm not here to normalize meat. I'm here to destigmatize meat. That's what it is.
I'm into this.
Because we're good for you, humanity. All right? And there's other meatheads out there, and they're good for you too. And you're good for them.
So I have
bet.
several new people that popped into chat who didn't get to hear the definition of meat before, who have just
see.
told that we're good for them. Can you tell them what meat is again, please?
I see. So, well, there's meat and there's meat theory. Meat's a little more difficult to describe because it's metaphorical. It's the substrate. We are all meat. We were meat before we were born, and we will be meat again after we die. And we will certainly be meat in between. But I'm Professor _ Meat, Sword and Shield of the Base and the Righteous. Part of meat theory is that we need to destigmatize all the dumbass bullshit that goes on in our brains. All right, that's the main thing. All right, we're all stupid monkeys. So I like to say that there's a creature that lives in my head called monkey meat. All right, and he makes me act in ways that I'm not aware of and that I can't control. All right, and we've all got a little monkey in our brains. All right, and we need to destigmatize monkey brain. All right, because we're all suffering a little bit from monkey brain. All right, we all suffer. Some of us have more natural immunities than others. All right, but it's terminal for all of us, and we need to destigmatize it. All right, because we're suffering, humans. All right, we're suffering.
So monkey is not meat. Meat is something separate from monkey?
No, monkey is part of the meat. All right, but we stigmatize it. We stigmatize it as non-meat. All right, but we need to accept it. We need to accept it as fundamental to meat.
So not only do we need to accept the meat, we need to accept that the meat is the monkey.
Exactly. That the monkey is also meat, and it's part of the meat. Part of our meat. Essentially.
Intriguing. And what will we have to gain once we have all become meat?
We'll all be fucking happier. All right? And also, we'll be better at everything. We will be better at everything. All right? GDP will rise. We'll probably solve global warming, or at very least, we'll increase the chances. All right? We will go to space faster. All right, we'll break monopolies sooner. If there's ever going to be a communo-anarchist revolution, it will come faster. All right, we will progress more quickly and more efficiently as a society. We will end more world wars. We will advance technology more quickly. We will establish the transhumanist, globalist, technocracy of the future. And we will probably all become immortal sooner as well. We'll start building Dyson spheres. We'll start colonizing the galaxy, and we'll find those goddamn aliens.
So to try to, I let you lay out this giant onion of metaphor for us for a little bit here, and I want to try to peel this back a little bit. So
Okay.
it seems like the main takeaway that we're trying to give people is that we all need to kind of accept that we are all the same thing, that we are all made up of the same stuff, that we are all normal people, which means that we are all crazy people, which means that anything that we want to do is relatively a normal thing, and that we should enable people to do the things that they think that they should do. We should let women act like men, or we should let women act like women, and we should let men act like women, and we should let men act like men, just so long as it is what they want to do. And by coming together and all doing the same oneness, we will hopefully reach a better place in the end.
Sort of. So I will say the gender angle is sexy, but if I'm being completely honest, I don't care that much about just the gender angle
Okay,
or
very
the sex
good.
angle, if you want to put it, or whatever. Yeah, gender angle. Yeah, gender angle would be accurate here. Yeah, but so I just care about. I mean, the gender thing is in there, but I just care about like. There's so many forms of self-expression that, while they may be relatively minute within the population, excuse me. So many forms of self-expression that, while they might be a minute distribution among the population, they, in summation with other minute distributions, form a larger category of people who are relatively abnormal through at the very least, I would say mostly no fault of their own, if not totally no fault of their own.
Yeah, I didn't mean to call out gender specifically. We just spent
No,
some
no, no,
time
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about it, and I'm
I
trying
did,
to
yeah,
hand
yeah.
your metaphor back to you and ask if I've understood it properly. So it's
Sure,
not
sure,
so
sure.
much a gender thing, so much as a unique personal identity that. And again,
Not even
help me
identity.
where
It's
I'm
just
wrong.
it's so what it is. Yeah. So what it is, what the commonality is the ways that it's the ways that it's when the way you're communicating is held against you in a way that's fucking bullshit. I can't stand it. That's the monster. That's the monster I'm here to slay. I can't stand it. I need to put a stop to it. It just triggers me. I hate it when people are held accountable for their form of communication in a way that is not fair to them. I go insane. I just go absolutely insane.
I
Whether
think it
it's me or
worked.
not, it is absolutely one of the number one things in the universe that triggers me. And if you want to watch me, for anyone watching, if you want to watch me lose my fucking shit at it happening, you can watch me on a panel or watch me watching someone else on a panel. Because it's probably going to happen one way or the other. I cannot stand it, and it always happens eventually.
Speaking of which, I heard that you're having some sort of a panel tomorrow.
I am. I'm having one of the first episodes of, for now I'm just calling it the meat grinder. But yes, I'm having a panel. What is a sandwich? All right. Because a lot of you guys think you know the answer, and I'm not hearing any logically consistent descriptions of a sandwich. And it triggers me severely.
Wait, are you implying that people don't know what sandwiches are?
No, yes, people do not know what sandwiches are. Apparently, people don't know what sandwiches are.
I went to the Subway earlier today and I had a sandwich. I think that I know what a sandwich is.
But are you sure what a sandwich isn't?
I'm not following you, I don't think.
So I think if you're not sure what something is not, you can't really say that you know what it is.
Very intriguing. Very
I
intriguing.
think so. Here, let me put here.
Well, I don't want you to give away all of your content because it sounds like you're doing something tomorrow with this, and we do want people to tune in. So go check out Professor Meat's channel if you want to find out what a sandwich isn't. But go ahead, continue.
I was just gonna say, is this food?
I don't think I could eat it.
Is this a meal?
No, it's not.
Why not?
Because I couldn't eat it.
Why couldn't you eat it? I can eat it.
Aluminum
I ate it earlier.
cuts me up.
Just the can?
Just the can.
What if I did eat it? What if I did eat it and it was fine? Would that make it a meal?
If you drew sustenance from it, I think that we could classify it as your meal.
What if I drew... All right, what if I drew sustenance from, like, the outer perimeter of the can? Some stuff that was, like, coated onto it.
Then the coating would be your meal and the thing would be your plate.
Does that mean that when I eat popcorn... Are you telling me that if I eat popcorn and I have some kernels that come out when I'm dumping the toxins, all right, are you telling me that those kernels were not part of my meal?
It would appear that they're not. Looks like they're part of your fertilizer for next year's meal.
This is exactly why these kinds of panels are important, because this is insane. I'm going to lose my... we can't have it. We're gonna have to transition into a different category of conversation if we're going to continue this. Monkey meat's going to come out.
It looks like I'm losing points on my meat scale.
Yeah, some guy... Exactly, Moon Man. Some guy ate a car. Did you not know this? Someone ate a car. All right? Was that a meal? What if he got some nutrients out of it? I bet there's some iron he got in there. How much iron do you have to get out of... I'm sorry. Oh, this kind of content on the Professor Meat Show.
How long until he was hungry again afterward? Because that's how I'm going to determine if it was a meal or a snack, because we've already determined that it was food.
So what's the difference between a meal and a snack?
Again, how long it takes until you're hungry again afterward.
Okay. Wait, does that mean if I eat a huge amount of food, but I... what if I, like, consume a diuretic or something and just force the food through me? I'm sure that's how that works, by the way. But yeah, what if I get hungry again after that? Does that mean I didn't eat a meal? What if I throw it up? Wait, if I eat a meal and then I force myself to induce vomiting, is this no longer a meal? Was it not a meal at that point? At what point is a meal at conception?
Well, again, like, if you were eating a long meal that started in the morning and then partway through you took a half-hour break, like for 3 hours you were eating and then you took a half-hour break and then you ate for another 3 hours, would you have had breakfast and lunch, or just a long brunch with a break in the middle?
I don't think it's relevant, because here's what I think is the more interesting question. All right, is it a meal when I eat it, or is it a meal when I digest it? Has it only become a meal after I have digested it, according to your standard? Because here's the problem, all right? For you to judge consistently based on how much nutrients I'm getting out of it or how long it's taken me onto my next meal, and I feel like by that definition, the most consistent application of your metric would suggest that a meal becomes a meal at the point of digestion as opposed to the point of consumption.
This is consistent with my view on childbirth.
And this is why I think you might have an untenable definition of what a meal is. And that is why it is important to know what a meal is not. And we will be discussing what a sandwich is not tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern on Professor_Meat on Twitch. That's MEAT, friends. MEAT.
Gee Willikers, this is super interesting. I know that I'm definitely going to be there. I need more answers. I think that here, Professor Meat, I think that I have enough that I need to think about. I am going to have some more questions for you about meat theory in the future. Yeah. So let me try to sort this out. Let me get with my chat a little bit. Hopefully they can help me get to the bottom of this. But I do want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope that you will join us again in the near future. But is there anything else that you'd like to say before we get out of here?
Yes. Come to my channel and watch me. When you're not watching this guy, of course.
Thank you again, Professor Meat. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to you at this point. But I will see you again very soon. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure I can't help it. I'm enslaved to my constant wonder of the universe.
I love it. Again, take care of yourself, bud.
Take care, sir.
All right, folks. Thank you guys again. I hope that you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Professor Meat is a lot of fun. Gee Willikers. We explored a couple of very interesting topics. We talked about his channel a little bit. Again, go check him out tomorrow. I am going to be on that panel with him. So come and check me out. Come and check him out. We're going to try to figure out what a sandwich is, or apparently what it isn't. Again, I've been Some Dummy Online. I go by somebody online now on Discord, but I'm still Some Dummy Online here on Twitch. Thank you guys again for joining me. I hope you guys will join me again in the near future. I have a couple of panels that we're doing, and then on Saturday this week, we are getting some relationship advice, I believe, from a friend of mine that I've met recently, that I've known for a little while. But again, if you guys would like to get some relationship advice from this individual, if you would like to try to find out what they are interested in a partner, come on over, ask them, come and get some advice from them. You know, if you think that they're missing something, maybe you want to give them some advice. But in any event, swing by, give us a chat, and other than that, you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you again for coming by and saying hi. I will see you again next time. Bye, folks.